Emperor. The emperor has no clothes, is what we talking about. While the people gather and the sensation gets ready to start, we are definitely in the building. Oh, let me pull this up while I'm playing around. Get in the control, bro, and make sure we know what's popping. As we start together, as the congregation come on in, and the people start to have a seat. We I got the Call of Duty champion stream going on top of my head. Make sure we all is gathered here today on this special occasion to celebrate our brother, the young deacon Shador Sanders. Uh, let the congregation say amen. Let the people gather as we start to say our thoughts and things on the things that is going on. Everybody is entering the chat. Y'all say what's up. Let a brother know where you are from and where you're viewing from and what's happening in your neck of the woods today. And don't forget to speak to our beautiful ladies as they enter the chat, the CU aunties. You know how we get down. We cannot start a show without acknowledging the CU aunties because they are one of the biggest pieces that keeps this party going. You know what I'm saying? What's up, people? What's up, D? Selma, what's up? SB from the ND, the CU Auntie. That's what I'm talking about. Jacksonville is in the building. Tupac Shador and Cleveland are in the house. Aunties are entering the building. Y'all make sure y'all pay y'all respect. Pay your respect to the beautiful CU Aunties as they enter the building. Show them the love and grace that they are most definitely afforded. Virginia is in the house. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get this party started, man, because and y'all know before we get the party started, how we get down. We gotta shout out the people, which is you guys who come in and watch the video. But while you're here, make sure you hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button and do your thing as we get this party started and talk about the Cleveland Browns and the mess that they have created for themselves in the front office. And it is a horrible mess, if I do say so myself. It is an awful mess. I mean, we're gonna start where all this started to how we got to where we are today. And where it all started was the draft. Because as we as we've heard and we keep hearing about Cleveland and their intentions to draft a quarterback next year with one of those first round picks. My question to the Cleveland Brown faithful, why did you waste draft picks in this draft by drafting two quarterbacks? If you're looking to the future and your intended future is 2026. We know what happened with the draft is they drafted Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round, drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. But I'm saying, why did we make those draft picks? Those are wasted draft picks if you intend to draft a first round quarterback with the 2 picks that you have next season. That is my point. Cleveland's first mistake in the draft was not drafting Travis Hunter. That was the first mistake on the board. But mind you, in not drafting Travis Hunter with the 2nd pick in the 25 draft, then trade that pick to Jacksonville and draft a defensive tackle in with your first round pick when you are needing so many other positions, as in wide receiver, offensive linemen, linebackers, cornerbacks, safeties. If your intentions were to draft a first round quarterback next season, why waste the draft pick on Shedeur Sanders, on Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round? Why waste 3 draft picks on Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round? That's 4 draft picks dead in one draft. If your intentions are to draft a quarterback in the next round, in the first round of next season's draft. How do we get to 4? 1, Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. Trade up with 2 picks to get Shador. That's 3 picks right there. Then you draft Shador. That's 4 picks right there. Gone. Let alone you traded a pick to get Kenny Pickett. That's 5 picks thrown away. But we're not going to count the Kenny Pickett because you went and got it, because you didn't have quarterbacks on your staff. So Kenny Pickett was your first pick. You traded a pick and DTR. The only quarterback in Cleveland that beat Kenny Pickett in the regular season when he was with Pittsburgh. Mind you, Kenny Pickett is a backup quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles, who just won a Super Bowl, didn't want their backup quarterback. And you gave them the quarterback that beat him in the regular season, plus a 5th round pick for that quarterback. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. So if we count picks, that's 5 picks that's gone in this year's draft. 5 picks gone when you are in desperate need, because we working on next season. So instead of building your team and getting ready for your pick next season, you wasted a third round pick on Dylan Gabriel because you've only seen Dylan Gabriel throughout the season twice. We're not talking scouts. They saw him at the combine, and then when they went to see Shedeur, they made a stop to see Dylan Gabriel. Hayward Reed, appreciate the membership, brother. Welcome to the lunch table. If y'all didn't know, I am changing the format or the name of this channel because I am Big Snacks. And from this point forward, we will be sitting at the lunch table. Just so y'all know. But let's get back to it. You traded for Dylan Gabriel. See, this is why I'm trying to get an understanding of this front office. Where are your heads at? Nobody is on the same page. Nobody is on the same plan. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is on the same plan. Nobody is on the same page. It makes no sense. Because Dylan Gabriel, nobody that analyzed Dylan Gabriel's draft stock had him in the third round. He was either a 5th or a 6th round pick, minimum. Cleveland only visited Dylan Gabriel in the combine, and they made a pit stop to visit him in Oregon when they went to see Shedeur. They didn't even go to his pro day, which befuddles me because you wasted a third round pick because you're hunting for your quarterback for next season. You wasted 3 picks on Shedeur because the third pick was Shedeur. You traded up 2 picks and then you picked him. That's 3 picks down the drain. We don't understand the mindset of this Cleveland Browns front office. Hell, they don't even know where they are right now. Because Kevin Stefanski likes Dylan Gabriel. GM, Mr. Barry, likes Dylan Gabriel. But your owner wants Shedeur. So when it all comes down, who's going to make the call? Or are we just going to let the season play out while we trying to figure out who's going to be the starter? Joe Flacco, the veteran that has been here before. Kenny Pickett, the first round pick, the first round quarterback that you traded for. Dylan Gabriel, the third round pick that you picked in the third round just to let everybody know we're out of the Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes and we don't want him. But then you end up drafting Shedeur in the 5th round. Not to mention, Deshaun Watson is still on your team. And when Deshaun Watson heals up and shows back up and say, hey, I want to play, now you got 5 quarterbacks. What are you going to do? I don't think Deshaun Watson is going to be ready to play this season. He shouldn't be ready to play this season. An Achilles injury is a death knell. I don't know why Pittsburgh even played that game with Aaron Rodgers to pick him up. Aaron Rodgers is done as a quarterback. He is not worth the headache that he brings. And he is nowhere near the quarterback he was 6 years ago, not alone 10. He is nowhere near his MVP caliber. He is nowhere near the quarterback he was at Green Bay. That Aaron Rodgers has left the building a long time ago. But back to our original premise with them drafting Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel was stupid. If you're drafting a quarterback in the first round with one of those two picks that you have next year, where you're counting on Jacksonville to absolutely suck, which they won't. Travis Hunter is a monster. And anybody that says otherwise is just stupid and you don't know ball. Travis Hunter is unlike any other football player that has ever stepped on the field, including Deion Sanders. Travis Hunter's ball skill is ridiculous. His ball tracking ability is out freaking standing. Nobody sees the ball and knows where the ball is going better than him. That's why they not practicing him on defense as much as offense, because he is built for defense. He can do that with ease. It's on offense of getting that timing with his quarterback and getting those routes down to where they need to be and understanding that side of the playbook. On defense, we can say, hey, you just go with man. You travel with him. Wherever he go, you stay with him. That's how they can do that on Travis Hunter. But why didn't Cleveland draft Travis Hunter in the first round? It was dumb of them to trade out of the first round. But then again, Mr. Berry is thinking, I can get this first round pick, get these picks this season, and then get my quarterback next season. But why would you do that when you could have drafted Travis Hunter and Shedeur and been set? You draft Travis Hunter and done exactly what New York did, come back in the first or second round and get Shador. Problem is, the trap was already set and your owner had already agreed to the bullshit of not drafting Shador when him and his homeboys got together. And that's what set Cleveland up to be in this brutal mess that they're in. Because mind you, Tennessee drafted Cam number 1, went back in the draft and got Cam's number 1 receiver, Mr. Restrepo from Miami. Went in and got his number 1 receiver, somebody that he is very familiar with and throwing to get him comfortable. See, but Cleveland was too busy worried about next year's draft and fumbled this year's draft. This year's draft is a waste. You drafted 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, a defensive tackle, no offensive linemen, no receivers. The parts of your team that you needed, you didn't get. And now you got 4 quarterbacks and you don't know which way to go. Everybody's in the front office is confused. The GM is confused. The quarterback's confused. The head coach is confused. The owner know what the hell he gonna do because he know I can at any moment say, put Shedeur in and I don't want to hear nothing else about it. But the entire front office, you got different story behind different story of somebody saying, well, somebody in the front office or in the building told me this quarterback was going to be first, Dylan Gabriel or Kenny Pickett. Somebody told me it's Flacco and Shedeur. Somebody said it's Flacco and Gabriel. Somebody said they're going to trade Dylan. Nobody, it's 5 different stories coming out of their front office. That means everybody's confused. Don't nobody know what's going on. And when Deshaun Watson show back up with a clean bill of health and say, I want my job back, what are you going to do? My God. Cleveland has done a awful job with this draft. Everybody keeps saying they did good. No, they didn't. They did terrible. They fixed not one problem that they had. Everybody keeps saying it's a good draft. Show me where. What did they do in this draft that was good besides the running backs? Because they got rid of Nick Chubb. That's what they needed. But what else in this draft did they do? So you drafted 2 quarterbacks and next year you plan on drafting another one. So in your quarterback room next year will be 3, count them, 3 brand new quarterbacks, 1 rookie and 2 second-year quarterbacks. What the hell are you doing? They don't know. To this day, they don't know what they're doing. They know what they've done. And they know Shedeur is probably the best quarterback they have in that class. But what can we do? Because we drafted him in the 5th round. We just can't throw him in there above Dylan Gabriel. Why? Because we going to look like idiots. No matter what happens, y'all are going to look like idiots this season. So how are you going to get over yourself and do what's best for your team? How are they going to do that? 92.3 The Fan.
What it is. The most exciting quarterback on this roster is Shedeur Sanders.
Yes, without question.
The most practical quarterback on this roster would seem to be Joe Flacco. The second most practical would be Kenny Pickett. Is this season a tank without admitting it? Do I have to admit that this season is a tank? Because the moves that they've made this offseason, that's not tanking. No. Giving Myles Garrett a whole bunch more money and making sure that he's a Brown for the rest of his career and bringing back Joel Bitonio, being encouraging of Joel Bitonio coming back. Not trading away some of the other names, which, yes, again, is easier said than done with dead cap space and everything like that. But again, if you were to be moving on from you-know-who, you don't care about dead cap anymore. You're firmly tanking for everybody to know. Do I have to admit that this year is about the next year and the year after that?
I think so. I think
I don't think that they're willing to admit. That's why I'm not.
This is dumb. This is stupid. What are you going to do? Do you tank or do you try to win? You've given Myles Garrett his money. You only have one bona fide number 1 receiver in the building. What are you going to do? Who is your quarterback? Your offensive line is old as hell. You didn't try to fix that in the draft. You're not even trying to fix it now. You just got rid of a good defensive end for a freaking kicker. What are they doing in Cleveland? What are Kevin Stefanski and Mr. Berry going to do in Cleveland? See, Shedeur threw a monkey wrench in their system. When the owner stepped down in the draft and said, hey, okay, I've had enough. Y'all go get Shedeur. But we just drafted Dylan Gabriel. I don't care. I want Shedeur. What he wanted to say was, I wanted him as the number 2 pick. But me and the other owners had already made a deal that we was going to embarrass him and punish Deion Sanders. So we couldn't take him in the second round, with the second pick. We weren't supposed, nobody was supposed to draft Shedeur Sanders, but hell, I'm throwing it all out the window and I'm going to get him right now. My homeboy is just going to be mad at me because I'm not letting all that money sit there in the draft and not go get it. See, that was the monkey wrench right there. Because you had already drafted Dylan Gabriel to show the world, hey, we got our quarterback. And we not going to pick up Shedeur. You can't tell me Cleveland had no intentions on drafting Shedeur at number 2 before the bull crap started in the draft. And all y'all super chats, I'll get to them in a minute. If y'all left it, I didn't look to see. But they're saying everybody's refusing to say that the collusion happened. But you can't tell me it didn't happen when Cleveland meant to draft Shedeur Sanders number 2 in the draft. Snacks, how do you know Cleveland and New York were both bidding for Shedeur Sanders' services before the draft started? You don't investigate. You don't put that many resources into one player because you're not going to draft him and not draft him at all. Have no interest, have nothing looking like you want to be involved with this player. Cleveland and New York put the most resources into Shedeur Sanders. All season long, they had scouts at every practice. All season long. It was a scout from Cleveland and it was a scout from New York in Colorado all season. After the season was done, New York went to see Shedeur. The next day, the Browns were there to meet with Shedeur. That's one visit. The Shrine Bowl, New York Giants, the head coach, the general manager, the offensive coordinator, and the quarterback coach were all at the Shrine game. Same for Cleveland, including the owner for Cleveland. That's 2 visits. Third visit, an interview. And at the Shrine game, the reason why Shedeur didn't work out is because Cleveland and New York asked him not to participate in the workouts. Asked him not to participate in the practices. But they want to act like Shedeur did this on his own when he was asked by these teams not to do that. So other teams that were there weren't able to get those views. They were taking Shedeur out. Shedeur was at the Shrine Bowl for 4 days. So were the New York Giants and the Cleveland Browns. They wasn't there just to see you one day. They were there the whole time he was there, talking to him, hanging out with him, having meetings, going to dinner, going to lunch, watching all the other stuff. And then the combine. They did all of those things again at the combine. Talked to him, worked with him, held meetings, got on the whiteboard, did all that stuff again at the combine. That's 3. 4. They all of the same people plus the owners went to his pro day. Watched him work out again. After his pro day, Cleveland went to Oregon and talked to Dylan Gabriel. Then yet again, Shedeur went to Cleveland to work out for the Cleveland Browns. A private workout. New York canceled their private workout. That's 5. That's 5 individual, separate meetings. That you put all of that into one player that you drafted in the 5th round. Whoo. But y'all say it ain't no collusion. Y'all say he just slid. He just slid down to the 5th round. Y'all still believe he slid to the 5th round? You still telling me that these owners didn't work out a little arrangement? A little arrangement. I find it mighty funny that the Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator son managed to get Shedeur Sanders' number and make a prank phone call when everybody thought that Shedeur was going to go second. Shedeur wouldn't have been there for a prank phone call. So what was the purpose? I'm just giving you something to think about. If he wasn't supposed to be there for a prank phone call, why was we getting his number to make a prank phone call? Because day 1, 20 minutes in, he was supposed to be out the draft pick altogether. So how we end up with a number 1 to make a prank phone call? But let me thank y'all. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, you know, all the things that we do. I'm just saying. I'm putting it out there for you to decipher. I'm just giving you the information. And I'm going to get the super chats. I got to check and see. I got one starred. If I'm just putting the information in front of you. I'm just giving it to you. You tell me. Why did that guy feel that he would have a chance to give Shedeur Sanders a prank phone call? It makes no sense. Unless it was a setup. It was all a setup. It's been a setup since day 1. Since the narrative changed the week of the draft. about Shedeur. You didn't hear about Shedeur and any of those combine meetings and things going south until the week of the draft. Mind you, the combine was 2 weeks before the draft. Why, after the combine, we didn't hear about Shedeur's horrible meetings? Him being a horrible person in the meeting, not prepared, not wearing headphones in the meetings, taking FaceTime calls in the meetings. Why did all that information take so long to get out? Because some anonymous guy, team person, said that Shedeur done all those things. Why did you have to be anonymous? Why didn't you put your name on it? That's why I don't listen to anonymous sources. Because if it's that bad and you want to slander a person's name in that manner and possibly stop them from making more money than they should or not even getting the job at all, you need to put your name on it. You need to own it. This ain't like doing secrets and international spy shit. This is football. This is you ruining somebody's life or attempting to ruin another person's life by giving information about that person anonymously. If you are going to get the opportunity to change somebody's opinion or have an effect on somebody's job, you need to put your name on it. You need to own it. And if I was a reporter, I would tell them, this is not going to be anonymous, or it won't be reported. Because if it's your information, you need to stand on it, because now you are affecting somebody's livelihood and the food that they're putting on their table. It's just that simple. This is not underground spy shit. This is sports. And if you want to speak on a bad encounter you had with a person or a player, you need to say who you are and who that player is, and let that player have a chance to defend themselves. You can't defend yourself on an anonymous source. You can't defend yourself from sources or people in the building. Put a name on it. Say who they are. If that's what we do. If that ain't what we doing, then don't worry about it. You know? If that's not what we doing, then you ain't gotta worry about it. If you're not gonna put somebody in a position to where they might lose their job or it might affect the amount of money they make, then we good. But if you're gonna say this player, when I interviewed them, when I sat down with them, they did this and this and this and this, but I can't tell you who I am, then we can't talk about it. We not gonna write about it. We not gonna put it on Twitter. We not giving you no air if you can't say I am Coach so-and-so with this team. And yes, I was in that meeting with Shedeur when he had his headphones on. Yes, I was in that meeting when he showed up late, unprepared, didn't know what he was doing on the whiteboard. Yeah, you should be able to put your name on that. Not just be able to spew it and put it out there in the atmosphere for the internet trolls and everybody that dislikes this person to run with it. Yeah, one coach that said he made me feel small. How a college player make you feel small? Because he got more money than you. And he looking at you like, what you talking about, dog? That ain't how shit work. I already know how this game go, and that's not it. Because he's questioning the things that you're saying. Why? Because I was raised in this environment. I know how most of this stuff operates, and you can't tell me otherwise. When he took the questions that you asked and answered them and turned around and asked you a question, now, how are you going to do this and this and this? Are we going to push forward? If I'm drafted here, are we going to get the players that we need? Are we going to be able to build a good offensive line? Are we going to be able to get good receivers, at least 2 of them? See, Shedeur is able to ask those questions because he knows. And they didn't like that. That's something NFL coaches and offensive coordinators are not used to. They're not used to players coming in the building overly prepared and ready to fire back at their ass when they're asking dumb racist ass questions. When they're asking people how your mom doing, how many jobs she worked, what makes you feel like this, and why would you do something like that? If you was in this situation, would you do? No. And see, he was able to counter that with his chest out, big boy status. See, they tried to make it a thing, just like they tried to make those speeding tickets a thing. But I didn't see one major headline with Zach Edey going 101 in a 50 freaking 5 in a 100. I didn't see not one cover story on ESPN or Fox. But I saw him for a week when Shador got his ticket. It was segment after segment after segment on each freaking show. Not one on Zach Edey doing 101 in a 55. Lottery pick, NBA player, make millions of dollars more than Shedeur. But that story ain't on the front page. It ain't headlining First Take. It ain't got its own segment on First Things First, Fox Sports Radio. You know, ain't none of that happening. ESPN Radio. Nobody's talking about Zach Edey going 101 in a 50 freaking 5. 55 is a regular public street. That's not an interstate. That's not even a highway. My main thoroughfare speed limit down here leaving my city is 60 miles an hour going down our main road. You can go 60 going past Burger King. So when the speed limit is 55, that is a regular public street where a lot of people traveling and walking. But Zach Edey don't make the front page. He don't do headlines because he ain't a Sanders. But he more dangerous than the Sanders kid, but he ain't making the headlines. Make it make freaking sense is all I'm saying. They can't. Just like Cleveland can't make this quarterback room make sense to nobody. Because the front office don't know what they're doing. Kevin Stefanski want this. Barry want this. Jimmy Haslam want this. 3 different pages. What the hell are they doing? You paid Myles Garrett. You got one main wide receiver, your number 1 receiver. Oh yeah, by the way, he from Alabama, so he that boy. But you got one wide receiver. So you wasted all this draft for nothing. Because your focus was on next year's draft. So you wasted 5 draft picks in this draft and didn't help your team with any players in any positions of need besides running back. But no cornerbacks, no offensive linemen, no linebackers, no receivers, no nothing. Just 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, a defensive tackle, and that's about it. You're not working nothing in this offseason to get better. You're receiving the most attention you've received in the history of your franchise. This team came back in 1999. Only been to a few playoff games. Have never been to a Super Bowl in franchise history. Period. Ever. You can't host the draft in your city. I mean, you can't host the draft and you can't host the Super Bowl because you don't meet the requirements as a franchise in your city to host the Super Bowl. What are you doing as a team to get better? Art Modell sold this team to Baltimore because they wouldn't let him build a new stadium. He tried for years. And he finally got fed up and said, fuck it. Y'all don't want to do better. So I'm going to take my money and run. Got the team back. They've been building up that waterfront. I've been to Cleveland. I've been to the game. Like I told y'all, my brother's a Cleveland Browns fan, so sometimes we trade off. He'll come down into Dallas and do the game, go to Cleveland, do the thing. But they have been promising to build that waterfront for years, yet to be done. Yet to happen. They just tried to block the new stadium from being built because it's a clause in the contract that the team can't be moved. The team ain't moving. The stadium moving. And there hasn't been trying. This franchise has been a mess for years. 40 quarterbacks in 26 years. Explain that. Explain that. 40 quarterbacks in 26 years. Horrible coaching, horrible management, and it still ain't fixed itself. You got 4 quarterbacks, and you focusing on the quarterback you're going to draft next season. What the hell? What the hell are you doing? How are you getting better? You drafted the defensive tackle, tight end, 2 running backs, 2 quarterbacks. What are you doing? You're not trying to get better. You're not trading for players to get better. They released a defensive player and signed a freaking kicker. Y'all Cleveland fans, y'all tell me, how are they getting better? How are they attempting to getting better? I told you. I done told you a million times. Cleveland is too busy trying to find lightning in a bottle with a quarterback instead of dealing with the quarterbacks they have and developing the quarterbacks they have to get better. I don't know if your current head coach is the right coach to develop quarterbacks because he hasn't. Baker Mayfield was here when he got here. Deshaun Watson is their problem. And he ain't turned out all that hot, but he got a whole lot of money. But your owner has owned up to that. Jimmy Haslam said, that's on me. He didn't even throw Kevin Stefanski under the bus. Jimmy Haslam said, that's on me. That's my fault. That didn't work out. We moving on. But you're not trying to fix the problems that you already have. You're worried about one problem that you got, and that's quarterback. I understand a team doesn't get better unless it has a good quarterback. But you can do that. You don't have to have a great quarterback. You just need to have a good quarterback with a good team. That's what you need to have. A good quarterback with a good team. But you don't even have a good team. You have pieces. Did they not watch what Philadelphia did when they constructed that team? They started from the inside out. Linemen. Give me everything Alabama and Georgia got down there. We drafted them all. That's the best of the best. And we want them all right here. That is a complete SEC line and defensive line that they got in Philadelphia. Give me all of him. Quarterback. Give me him too. Everything else will fit itself in. They're not even following that model. It's in your face on what to do, but you're not doing that. You're worried about getting a quarterback. If you got a good quarterback, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get him killed. Know what you got? A quarterback that was getting killed in college and knows how to deal with that mess. My God, what is wrong with these people? Me and G. Bush can go run the whole freaking organization by ourselves. I hate I missed G. Bush this morning, but I'm going to watch it later on tonight when I'm on the road going to drop these trailers off. I missed the barbershop this morning, but I'm going to catch up because I know G. Bush was talking that talk. But what's really going on in Cleveland is really freaking ridiculous. It's a catastrophe. It is so bad. It's so bad. Your 5th round drafted quarterback is the most talked about player in the league. And if you don't let him play, your fan base is going to eat you alive. You drafted Dylan Gabriel for no reason. You had no business drafting Dylan Gabriel. You had no business agreeing to that agreement not to draft Shedeur when you put all those resources into drafting him as the number 2 pick in the draft. Cleveland has fumbled this process from the beginning. Because now you put yourself in a position. You put yourself in a position where you have 4 quarterbacks. Flacco is your wily veteran. Pickett is your replacement veteran. Then you got 2 rookies. One that you didn't want and one that you didn't think you wanted. And the one that you didn't think you wanted, the one you got last, is the best one you got all in the bunch. But you can't play Shedeur without going down the line 1, 2, 3, 4, because you don't want to look like the idiots that you are because you drafted Shedeur in the 5th round and he better than everybody else you got on your freaking staff. Trying to save face. Trying to look and feel good to your constituents. Your whole fan base know you fucked up. Your entire fan base is telling you, we know you screwed up. Just do the right thing. Play the man. Get him ready. We know who he is. We see who he is. Why haven't we seen him in first team reps? Because we don't want y'all fighting us. Because then y'all gonna see he better than everybody else. Well, what's gonna happen when training camp starts? They gonna continue to shoot themselves in the foot until that first preseason game and that first preseason practice where the Shedeur is gonna start and he ain't got no choice but to take first team reps. And then y'all gonna say, oh, this what you was hiding from us. Because we done seen it. We done heard about it. But this what you've been hiding from us. And then after the first preseason game, when he go in there and throw for 303 touchdowns, it's a wrap. Poor Dylan Gabriel, poor Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco just don't give a shit because I've been in here 18 years. My retirement money good, and it's free money for me this year. So what we doing? That is the Cleveland Browns problem. They put themselves in a position that they didn't want to be in. You can blame Jimmy Haslam because he's part of the problem. But you can also blame the head coach and the GM because they started the problem. Because they drafted a quarterback and then the owner made them draft another quarterback. And now they don't know what the hell to do. There is no getting out of this situation without looking like an idiot. Because either way it goes, if Shedeur doesn't play a down this season and you draft another quarterback next year, it's just like you got 3 rookie quarterbacks. Because guess what? None of them ain't played all season. No, then nobody has NFL experience. See, ain't no way out of this. Only way to come out of this is looking like an idiot. So go on and get it over with. Unless you praying that Joe Flacco get hurt and then Kenny Pickett get hurt right behind him. Or Kenny Pickett goes out and looks horrible. And then you ain't got nothing left but the 2 rookies. That's what you hoping for. But why would you hope for somebody to get hurt? Because that's the only way you come out of this looking unscathed. if somebody gets hurt, and then you have no control over that. Unless you can pay somebody to play hurt, Joe Flacco can come up lame in a practice, and then, it's all stupid, man. They put themselves in this position, and we really shouldn't be here. We got to go all the way into training camp wondering what's next. Who's going to do what? What quarterback is going to emerge in training camp? It's all politics. It's all football politics. It's all dumb shit that really makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? It's all that type of stuff. But what are we to do? What are they to do with the position they are in? Let's get to the comment section. Let's scroll up and see what we got. Because y'all been chattering up some shit. Let's see what we got. I'm done with the Browns. If they fuck this Shedeur situation up. Well, all I'm gonna say is they gonna fuck it up. They gonna fuck it up. JV say bad management. They could have gotten both. They wanted to make an example out of something. Yeah, they could have got both. They could have got Travis and Shedeur. They could have got Travis and Shedeur in this draft. And then drafted a receiver and drafted a lineman, and they'd have been good. Everything else, you could have been pushing forward for the next season. Tennessee got their wide receiver and their quarterback. Tennessee did a smart thing. They drafted Cam, and then they went back in the draft and got Cam's number one receiver from Miami. They said, hey, you coming too. We need him comfortable. Cleveland wanted to draft a unicorn, but they already had one. There is not a quarterback coming out next year that's better than Shedeur. You are so damn right, Wisdom. You are so damn right. There is not a quarterback coming out next year that's better than Shedeur. If they was, they would have came out this year. I got those rooms, and the one thing I see missing is why the Browns picked 12. Now, that was the real collusion. I don't know. I have a management degree. That's a bad situation with the Browns. Yeah, that is a bad situation. That is a bad situation. And Haywood Reed became a new YouTube member. Appreciate you. All 12 needs is the opportunity. He'll show the world his talents. That's why they're keeping him suppressed. Regina. She is already a channel member and a member of the CU Aunties. You know we got to holler at the CU Auntie. Hello, CU Auntie in Little Rock from Jacksonville, Mississippi, OC. What's up, lady? What they need to do is get rid of Watson and Pickett. Can't get rid of Watson. Can't get rid of Watson. I think the Browns' plan was to always draft Shedeur, but Watson's bag changed that. It wasn't Watson's bag that changed them drafting Shedeur. It was the Browns and the owners that changed them drafting Shedeur. leaving, I think you're right. Passing on Travis. Passing up on Travis was stupid. That was the dumbest East Coast Kev in the building. The owners knew they could let Sanders go because they know Sanders is a bag. Yeah, he know he couldn't leave. Shedeur is a hell of a quarterback. Y'all gotta watch the tape. Snacks. It was that Watson bag that changed everything. Haslam went against the NFL alumni and gave Watson a guaranteed bag. Yeah, he went against the NFL and gave him guaranteed money. But hell, Kirk Cousins been beating the NFL out of guaranteed money on every contract he done ever had. Kirk Cousins is the only quarterback, him and Sam Bradford, the only quarterbacks that have been beating the NFL to sleep on these contracts. Kirk Cousins been having guaranteed money since nobody was having guaranteed money. And it's been a lot of guaranteed money. I've been watching football for a long time. If Sanders is not QB1, they're making a big mistake. JB, I'm with you. I don't think he should start the season as QB1, but I think game 3 or 4, he should be in the building. I think that Tennessee got 2 of Cam players. Yeah, they did. Tennessee was smart. They want their quarterback comfortable, and they want him with players he didn't already play with. That was smart of Tennessee. They did the right thing. But Cleveland had the same opportunity. All the Shador receivers got drafted. The only college team to have all their receivers drafted. So what does that say? Can't wait for the NFL collusion documentary. Leave it, cat. I'm with you on that one. Watson is done in Cleveland. They will eat the money and move on. They ain't got no choice. All of it guaranteed. Ain't nobody else taking that contract. Everyone should be fired. How the hell the GM states that they got him at a discount? Oh, shit. They did get him at a discount. They got Shedeur at a discount. Hey, well, facts. Denver did it with Wilson. Yeah? And that Mary, she is a mess. Yeah, OC. Mary Kay Cabot is a true hater along with Gross. Training camp is coming up, and you will see Tupac Shedeur come out on top. I can guarantee you the media will look stupid when Sanders balls out. Yeah, that's what they're trying to avoid. They are trying to figure out a way that they can get out of this scenario without looking like idiots. But there is no way around it. There is no way that you can come out of this looking good at all, period. Because the coach and the GM didn't intend to draft Shedeur Sanders. And so he had to be chosen. You know what, Renaud? You might be right. Jimmy had to come out of the cut and say, hey, go down there and get that money sitting down there in Dallas just chilling. Somebody go get me that bag. They need to stop talking about tanking. Man, look, these folks, all the Cleveland media, everybody's been talking about, I can see them drafting the quarterback next year with one of those 2 picks. What the hell are we doing? You got 4 quarterbacks, 2 of them rookies. You draft another quarterback, you're not going to get rid of the 2 rookie quarterbacks because the one out of the 4 quarterbacks you got, one of them old as hell, and it's probably his last year. The second one is the first round pick on his last year of his contract. You're not picking that back up. So if you draft another quarterback next year, You're going to have 3 rookie quarterbacks. 3 of them. Then what are you going to do? Stupid. The rookies are still in transition toward development. They just don't move up to the front of the line like that. But Selma, that's what I'm saying. The rookies got to move up. And they got to move up now. Because next year, you're not going to have these 2 veterans. And if you draft a quarterback next year, you got 3 rookie quarterbacks. Then what you gonna do? Is all I'm saying. It's all I'm saying. If you get rid of, because we know Joe Flacco more than likely ain't coming back next year. Kenny Pickett on the last year of his contract. They didn't sign his 5th year. So either they re-sign Kenny Pickett or they draft another quarterback, and now you got a first-year quarterback and 2 second-year quarterbacks in your quarterback room. So what type of mess is that? I wish they would trade Shedeur. He made them relevant. Plenty of teams want him, and that's a fact. The problem is, plenty of teams colluded for him. The Steelers gonna look like ass, and it's gonna be Mike Tomlin's first year losing in a season because he waited on Aaron Rodgers. And I don't even care. I'm for the brother, but you should have picked the brother. You waited on Aaron Rodgers like he gonna save your season, and he sucked. The good old boy club is over. They can't control the narrative anymore. No, they can't control the narrative. Browns know Shedeur is him, but that 5th round pick BS they gotta put up on the scam as if Lil Gabe and 2 gloves can compete with 12. No, they cannot. It's ridiculous. JB again, the NFL wanted to make an example. Absolutely they did. The Browns was for sure they were getting either Shedeur or Travis, then realized the money they had already lost with Deshaun. The collusion started. They traded Travis and got Shedeur at a steal. The collusion had started before then. They still wanted Shedeur. It didn't matter if they got the money to pay Shedeur. The money is not the problem. The money wasn't the problem. They drafted what's his name at number 5. They still gonna have to pay him $35-40 million. So it wasn't the money. It was just they wanted to punish Prime, and it all backfired. A real trade to who? All 32 teams passed multiple times. What would be different? Where's the Sanders tape? They not putting that tape. I'm telling you, somebody gonna leak that tape in the middle of this season. Them tapes gonna pop up. Definitely a collusion. And the Sanders family should sue. The Snow Bunnies love throwing money around. Yeah, they should sue. It all backfired. No, they took. Y'all is crazy, man. Infinite plus you came to see you for a 5th rounder. That's what I'm saying. They did all that traveling to meet up with Shedeur and talk to him and take him to dinner and work him out just so they could draft him in the 5th round. That's a lot of resources investment in a 5th round draft pick. You're absolutely correct. Those 2 teams told him they told him not to work out at the East-West Shrine Bowl. Boomer Esiason said the quiet part out loud. All 32 owners told their staff, do not take Shedeur. Yeah. This is one of the reasons why I would never be a fan of the Cleveland Browns. Any team that would consider tanking does not deserve fans. True. I agree with Ward. Wallace is part of their plan. They hate that since 1988 they couldn't control Coach Prime, and his son suffered. It's backfiring now. All 32 teams passed on Shedeur 4 times. That's what I'm saying is all of them passed on Shedeur. But the two most talked about players is a 5th round player and an undrafted free agent, Shiloh and Shedeur. They make more headlines than anybody in the NFL. Anybody in the NFL don't get no more headlines than a 5th round draft pick and an undrafted free agent. But it wasn't no collusion. Wasn't no collusion though. Mark, being from Cleveland, they want to win. Rebuilding from the top down is needed. And Cleveland, not the only team in that position. I'm going to rock with the Browns like I've been doing all our time is now. Man, you got to rock with your people. They your people. That's your squad is your squad. Cowboys is my squad. Hell, I'm in the same boat as y'all since the 90s. We just been on suck mode. It ain't because we had bad players and bad coaches. We just couldn't get over the hump. Browns had just a bunch of bad shit. I'm white, and I say so, and it all backfired. Well, damn it, Haywood. When they say don't, you better off doing the opposite. You can't trust them. That's true. That was the reason. They made him super legendary. He was already legendary. They just turned it up to 5,000. None of this got anything to do with the Browns fans. What did we do? Nothing. We just want to win the team, and we finally got that in Tupac Shedeur. You're not going to have a winning team because they're going to try to hide Shedeur. They a bunch of punks. You know how they roll. Alleged bad encounter. Right, Byron? It was an alleged bad encounter. Shedeur will make every penny of the money he lost in the draft back. Those bastards showed Dart's interview, but not Shedeur's. Yeah, they showed Jackson Dart's interview. We know they got Shedeur's. The NFL tape everything. NFL teams tape everything. All their meetings, everything they did in their combine was recorded. That's what I'm telling you. That tape gonna hit the market sooner or later. And somebody gonna be mad about it. Shedeur is not making that 40 mil back. You ain't getting that money back. They know they lied, and the Sanders family should sue the white supremacist systematic oppression racist. Boy, y'all is crazy. Snow. Haywood. All I care about is Tupac Shedeur balling out. Everything else will work out for itself. Like he said, he wants to bring the Browns to the Super Bowl, as all the fans want, and we know he can pull it off. Yeah, but the question is, if it's done, what are you going to do about management? Because now it's on Kevin Berry and Stefanski. It's on them to put this team in the best position to win, not to placate to their egos and play the players because they drafted them, not because they are better than the other players. They want to play the players because that's their guy. Dylan Gabriel, their guy. Kenny Pickett, their guy. Why? Because we went and got Kenny Pickett. We went and drafted Dylan Gabriel in the third. Those are our guys. We got to make sure that they don't make us look like idiots and get us fired, because that's what's going to happen. Like I said, they didn't get what they needed in the draft. You know, they satisfied no needs in the draft. They did nothing Nothing right. While y'all here, y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to leave your comments. But, that's what they do. They didn't fix nothing in the draft other than the running back position. They needed a tight end. Yeah, they got Harold Fanning. But the pieces that you need were offensive line, wide receiver, linebacker. Those are your most important needs, and they address none of them. None of them. They haven't addressed nothing. And what are they going to do now? Now you got 2 rookie quarterbacks and 2 veterans, one old as hell, one don't even know what he's doing with little hands and barely hold the football. So how are you going to fix all these problems that you didn't address in the draft by getting players that you really didn't need or didn't want to draft, but you drafted them anyway? And now you find yourself in this conundrum and you don't know how to get out. This team has been backwards for so many years. Somebody has to have the balls to step up and fix it. They've been so many years trying to find that one quarterback. Just that one. So what we need is a quarterback. No, you need a team. You need a team. You need a team. You can find a game manager, but you need a team. If you get a team, you can find a game manager and eventually get you a quarterback that's worth having. But you didn't do it. You're too focused on finding a quarterback. But when you get your quarterback, who are you going to play with? Who are you going to throw to? Who going to block for? They didn't do the right shit. But anyway, man, we going to get out of here. Shit, we almost an hour and 30 minutes in. Y'all know how we get down. I appreciate all of y'all for coming through, hollering at your boy, doing the thing. While you're here, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to leave your comments down in the comment section. I appreciate everybody for stopping through and doing their part on the stream. I guess we might do one more tomorrow. What y'all think? Y'all let me know. After the stream go up, let me know in the chat. We want to do one tomorrow. Then we'll get it. We need to do a Colorado stream. We need to do a Colorado stream because I need to catch everybody up. So we might do that tomorrow. But anyway, man, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate y'all for watching. East Coast Kale, I got you, my guy. I'm out of here. I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.